Boomer Sooner, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name's Harry James. This is the preview for the Oklahoma Sooner basketball team. 2 games this week. So unlike the girls to where they have a midweek game and then they have the championship, it's 2 games. And then they'll have their championship week a week from Wednesday, Thursday, one of those games. Because there's 2 games left this week for the Sooner men, and that is a home game Tuesday night against the Kansas Jayhawks, 31-8 last year, 13-5 in league play, and another title for them there. Also, they will be in Manhattan. The Little Apple, though, not the Big Apple, where they played Notre Dame. They'll be in the Little Apple of Manhattan. Kansas State, last year, 25-12, 10-8 in Big 12 action. All right, guys, we'll preview these 2 teams coming up next. Boomers here in 1982. Don't go away! Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name is Harry James. Alright, if you guys didn't hear in my last broadcast on YouTube and Facebook or whatever, Twitter, free admission to this one, which is the final home game of the regular season. They've already had their senior night, but it's their final regular season home game, and it's against the Kansas Jayhawks. So you want to be there, you want to heckle Bill Self, the selfie stick, the former Oklahoma State Aggie, for wearing a toupee or for bringing in a couple of, for just being fun and heckle them, you can do that for free. F-R-E-E. Tuesday night after classes are over, just head over to the Lee Noble Center, have your student ticket, have your student ID, and be ready to go and face the Jayhawks of Kansas. A Kansas Jayhawks team that last year, 31-8. 13-5 in Big 12 play, went all the way to the Final Four. But in the Final Four game, they lost to Villanova, 95-79. Their head coach, we already talked about him, guys, the great toupee one, Billy Self, a 1985 grad from Oklahoma State University, and it is in his 16th year back in Big 12, Big 8 play at Kansas. Helping him get back to the Final Four this year won't be easy, as it ever is easy in any time, but it gets a lot easier when you have not 1, but 2 double-digit scorers. But they're not coming back from Kansas. They're actually both coming in from Memphis. The Lawson boys, the Lawson brothers. Number 1, Derek Lawson, and 13, KJ Lawson, both coming in from Memphis. Let's see how both of these players did last year, 2 years ago, I should say, because they set out last year for Kansas. See how both of these players did 2 years ago for Memphis. Derek Lawson first. Dietrich Lawson, 19.2 points per ball game, 9.9 boards, 3.2 assists per ball game at Memphis 2 years ago. While his brother KJ Lawson, 12.3 points per ball game, 8.1 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per ball game last year, 2 years ago, for Memphis, as KJ was at Memphis. Now, Kansas State, not the same issue. They're a little better this year. In fact, they could win the league this year. And they have 2 double-digit scorers, and both were on the team last season for the Wildcats of Kansas State. Speaking of last season, 25-12 last season for the Wildcats. 10-8 in Big 12 play. They did make it all the way to the Elite 8 last year, where they lost to Loyola Chicago, 78-62 in the Elite 8. Their head coach, Bruce Weber, a 1978 grad from the University of Milwaukee, and is in his 7th year in charge of the Purple and Gray Eaters and the Purple Eaters of Kansas State. Like as we said, 2 double-digit scores returning from last year. Dean Wade is back. A lot of Sooner fans don't want to hear that. His first game back was a downer in Norman. He's back again, averaging 16.2 points per ball game last year for the Wildcats, 6.1 boards, and 2.7 assists per ball game last year for the Wildcats. They also have their point guard, Barry Brown, coming back. Barry Brown Jr., 15.9 points per ball game last year, 3.3 rebounds, 3.2 assists per ball game last year for the Wildcats of Kansas State. And the Sooners of Oklahoma, 21-14, 9-9 in league play, lost to Rhode Island, 83-78 in the first round last year of the NCAA tournament. Their head coach, Lon Kruger, a 1974 grad from Kansas State, and is in his 8th year in charge of the Crimson and Cream. Just like Kansas has 2 double-figure scorers returning from different teams, also Oklahoma, both of their double-digit scores returning from different teams, but both of the Oklahoma players are both senior grad transfers. We'll start with number 2, Aaron Calixte, and we'll finish with number 3, Miles Reynolds. First, Aaron Calixte, he wears number 2 for the Sooners, 16.9 points per ball game, 3.1 rebounds, and 3.2 dimes per ball game last year for Maine. Miles Reynolds, he wears number 3, so you go from number 2 to number 3. He averaged last year, while Pacific, 13.3 points per ball game, 7.8 boards, and 4.5 assists per ball game last year for Pacific. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you want to watch this or any of my other videos, it's not that hard, just a click away. On YouTube, it's Boomer Sooner 1982. Facebook, my name's Harry James Taylor. You can find me on there. Or on Twitter, they're always up on my Twitter page, at Harry the Spy. Okay. Alright guys, remember that senior night, or the final game of the season for against Kansas, free to all students. Bring your student ID and have some FU fun as we try to help the Big 12 and the rest of the Big 12 and help Kansas State to not turn another title. And we could do it right in our own backyard. Not really the dagger, but it can pretty much almost be the dagger. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and Boomer Sooner everybody. Take care, I'm out of here. See ya, peace.